All right, welcome back. So, in our last explainer, we looked at how the very first computer viruses were, well, basically just pranks. Annoying, for sure, but mostly harmless. But like any language, the language of viruses was bound to evolve. And that really is the question for today, isn't it? Because in the mid-1980s, something shifted. The code that was once kind of clever or funny started to get a much darker, much more destructive purpose. The prank was about to become a real weapon. I mean, you can see the change right here on the screen. It's just stark. In 1982, a virus left you this little playful poem. But fast forward just 5 years, and the language becomes brutally direct. No more poetry, just a cold, terrifying message telling you that your digital life is, well, it's ruined. This wasn't a joke anymore. Not even close. And the virus that made this happen was first spotted in October of 1987 in the city of Jerusalem. It was completely different from anything the world had seen before, and it brought two terrifyingly effective new ideas to the table that would, frankly, change the cybersecurity game forever. Okay, so its first deadly trick was being memory resident. Now, before this, viruses were just visitors, right? They'd infect a program and then they'd leave. But the Jerusalem virus, it moved in. It loaded itself directly into the computer's active memory, the RAM, and it just stayed there. It basically became a ghost in the machine, this constant invisible presence that haunted every single thing the computer did. And once it was in memory, oh, it got to work. When you ran an infected program, the virus didn't just sit back. It actively hooked itself into the computer's core operating system, DOS. So think of the OS as the computer's main rulebook. What Jerusalem did was secretly rewrite some of those rules. The result? Every time you ran any other program, the virus would automatically infect it. It created this silent, incredibly efficient chain reaction of infection. Yeah, you can tell right away, this isn't some kid playing a joke. This was methodical. This virus was designed to be stealthy, to spread as far and as wide as it could before anyone even had a clue it was there. It was patient. It was a predator. And that brings us to its second and honestly, its most deadly innovation. All of that silent spreading, all of that patient waiting, it was all building up to one specific moment, a trigger. So you have to ask, what on earth was it waiting for? A date on the calendar, a day that's already synonymous with bad luck. On any Friday the 13th, the virus was programmed to wake up and unleash its destructive payload. So this whole idea, it has a name. It's called a logic bomb. It's basically malicious code with a trigger condition. That trigger could be a date, a time, or even something a user does. For the Jerusalem virus, the condition was simple, the calendar hitting Friday the 13th. When that day came, the bomb would detonate, and its payload was absolutely devastating. It would try to delete every single program file it had ever managed to infect. By May of 1988, which was the first Friday the 13th after its discovery, the virus had spread way beyond Jerusalem. It caused a global epidemic. I mean, reports were flooding in from offices, from universities, from homes all across Europe, America, and Asia. For the very first time, a single piece of malicious code had caused widespread international digital destruction. And this, right here, this is the real legacy of the Jerusalem virus. The rules of the game had completely changed. Before Jerusalem, viruses were just annoyances. After Jerusalem, data itself became a target, and malware became a weapon. All of a sudden, antivirus software wasn't just for hobbyists. It was an essential shield that everybody needed. A digital arms race between the virus writers and the security experts had officially begun, and it's a race that is still going on today. The Jerusalem virus was a massive turning point. It proved that just a few kilobytes of code from some unknown author could cause millions of dollars in damage. And that leaves us with a really chilling question. If a lone creator back in the 80s could cause a worldwide epidemic, what could a nation state do with a digital weapon today? We're gonna explore that in our next explainer.